Respond to 3 different videos just because, nobody's making a good enough video for a complete response, I guess. But anyway, let's start off with the partly Burger Keane and Tommy from the Bronx on this UFO stuff. I guess Burger Keane brought it up and then Tommy responded to him, defending the idea that, yes, UFO means there must be extraterrestrials visiting us because, gee, all those people couldn't be wrong, blah, blah, blah. Kind of bullshit argument. I think this subject was always lame. Even when I was a kid, it was silly. The little blurry photos and the shit for evidence. And then we've seen all this crap go on. Crop circles, these assholes saying they lived back in ancient Egypt, whatever they call that when they, twist their brain, pretend they were somebody in the past. I mean, all these psychics, all the crap that we've seen, all the shysters out there just trying to make some money, trying to be interesting, that'll be pyro subject to interesting, and it's just a crock of shit. So now we have all this technology, we got cameras everywhere, 1 out of 4 plane crashes is caught on videotape. It's just bullshit. They even just published a photograph of the space shuttle silhouetted against the sun. We have all this hardware looking into space, and your proposition is that some other civilization from some other solar system anyway has decided to flop over here with a technology where they have enough power to move through the universe, and yet they don't leave a signature, they don't create a noise, a sound, a peep. They have all this stealth technology so they can, land on Earth, go find an Iowa farmer and tickle his balls. I mean, it's just so fucking preposterous. It doesn't make any logical sense. The evidence doesn't point to anything first. The physical evidence sucks. Even though technology has improved, the photos are still blurry. There's still no context. They're still they're shit. It doesn't make any sense. And then taking it the second step is just to do the logic. What incentive would some other civilization have to come here, as Tommy would say, 4,000 years ago, and just play a 4,000-year-old game where they play hide and seek from the silly little humans? I mean, it's nonsense. Just absolute fucking nonsense. And this coming from a guy who's skeptical about God, even though 80% or whatever, 90% of the human population believes that lie. He's going to defend this one because so many people have seen them, and just all those eyewitnesses can't be full of shit. They couldn't all be drunk or psychotic. It's just such a stupid argument. You know how many people say they've seen God? I mean, come on, Tommy. Anyway. So, I mean, who wants to get on this subject? But Jesus, it really is disappointing. Again, atheists. I don't believe in the fucking silly dogma story, but I believe that, a bunch of guys making $15,000 a year in 1960 whatever, carried aliens to Area 50 whatever, and didn't tell anybody about what they saw. Nope, they didn't figure out that they could go to the New York Times and make $1 million. No, they couldn't figure that out. I mean, that's the other part of this. I mean, you think everybody who's reading satellite photographs is covering it up, at their $35,000 a year job? I mean, God, it's just all fucking so idiotic. These goddamn truthers, their goddamn lies. It comes down to that. It's just lies. They want this shit to be true, period. The end. So anyway, Brett made a video, kind of just joking, but, there's no real good fights to pick around here. And, the reason why I don't mention Burger Keane more often is it just does the standard, religious bashing thing, mostly, which doesn't really, I don't have a whole lot of interest in it. And some of his tactics I'm really not thrilled with. I mean, I'm not, I don't like playing the game of war the way he plays it. I mean, I don't like the idea of you call some guy blind at his little church and start asking him fake questions and trying to make him look like an asshole. I mean, it's kind of bullshit tactic. And I don't like your friends, so you want to be one of the scumbags, you know. I mean, I haven't mentioned you in the past because, number one, your accounts never stayed up, and number two, I didn't consider you one of the scumbags. I mean, I mentioned Amazing Atheist, talked about him because he's a scumbag, and he's a motherfucking asshole, and he's got whatever 70,000 subscribers for being an asshole and talking absolute shit. And yeah, that pisses me off. So he's someone I'm going to talk about. And I did the same with Fake Sagan. You know, there was virtual Holocaust, but somehow he became completely irrelevant to me. I haven't watched one of his videos in over a year. But anyway, so yeah, you weren't on my radar. You want to be on my radar? Fine. Say something stupid like we should let we should let people have the private right to white only their business. Go ahead, say something stupid like that, and I'll make an enemy out of you. But I know you're just fucking around. But yeah, I don't like your friends much. So part of me says, you know, why make any notice of you? Because it's not in my interest. How you doing? Alright, bicycle. Anyway, so, you know, how do I win? By, you know, my philosophy anyway. You know, promoting people who are caught up in what I think is a bunch of shit. Amazing Atheist is useless. The conversation is useless. He doesn't talk about anything that makes a fucking goddamn difference. And so yeah, you want me to throw you in that category? Fine. But anyway, I know you're just fucking around because yeah, YouTube's kind of boring lately. You know, no one's saying much of anything. So anyway, I'll move on to Pyro. Pyro's saying crappy, loony crap. So definitely go see his video. Is that the right way? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Can't tell on the camera. You know, just horrible. He's talking about, like, you know, life is defending his use of the word interesting to describe the purpose of our life. So apparently, the only thing that matters is that we are interested. That stuff happens to us and that we react to it. That we are basically reflexive organisms. And that's all the meaning we need. We don't need to know anything else but the fact that, wow, if we find something challenging or engaging or it makes our eyes pop out, even though it's horror, absolutely horrible, it's all good because that's telling us we're interested, you know. So if a steamroller runs over you and your eyeballs pop out, that'll just demonstrate that, man, you're fucking focused and interested. And, you know, life just fucking kicks ass. You know, it's just the silliest rationalization. I mean, he calls himself a skeptic, and yet he's skeptical of everything. He's skeptical that I'm making this video right now. It's not really happening. You know, we can't prove it. You know, it's not an absolute truth. No, it's just a perception we have. It's just fluff and feathers. Nothing matters. The universe knows what it's doing. We don't. We don't know what's going on. The universe does. That's right. The molecules and the atoms are all highly enlightened, but we're complete fucktards who can't say that there's the ground. No, it might not be the ground. It might be the multiverse. That's right. I mean, this stuff is just as babbly as Matt nonsense. I mean, this is going no place. It's insufferable babble. So, you know, and these and you know, describing all kinds of motivations to atomic particles. You know, and Pyro is just, yeah, let's just blow up the common understanding of the word interesting, and we'll make it just mean that it has no positive connotation. We can be interested in torturing each other, you know, in shoving giant steel rods up each other's anuses, and we can call that interesting. We won't call it sick, depraved, wasteful, stupid, inefficient. No, we'll just call it interesting. So if the human race is enslaving itself, well, that's just interesting. It's not dumb or stupid or something we should be critical of. No, it's all interesting. And if nature's full of shit and it has a stupid equation, an insane balance between pain and suffering and pleasure, that's just an interesting fact. You know, it doesn't mean anything. Well, anyway, enough said. Should be 10 minutes at least. The sun again, it's killing me. So anyway, till next time, when we'll have more of this interesting fun.